There comes a moment in every man's life when silence becomes louder than words. When you look in the mirror and realize that no one is coming to save you. The world doesn't care about your pain, your excuses, or your dreams. It only respects results. Money isn't just paper. It's freedom, it's power, it's respect. Without it, your opinions are ignored, your struggles are invisible, and your voice means nothing. Success isn't about luck or talent. It's about obsession. It's about waking up every day with fire in your chest, fighting through fatigue, rejection, and doubt. The ones who win are not the smartest or the strongest. They're the ones who refuse to quit when everything falls apart. You've got to fall in love with the grind, the suffering, the process of becoming unbreakable. Because when you finally taste success, every scar, every tear, every lonely night will mean something. The world pays those who prove they can't be broken. And until you prove that, you'll be invisible. Money is the language of power. Learn to speak it fluently. You see, the entire world runs on one thing, value. And money is the measurement of that value. It decides who gets heard, who gets ignored, who gets respected, and who gets forgotten. When you don't understand money, you become a pawn in someone else's game. You get told what to do, when to show up, and how much your time is worth. And that's the cruelest form of slavery in modern life. People will tell you money doesn't matter, that happiness can't be bought, that love is more important. But look around. The people saying that are always the ones struggling, always the ones wishing they had more options, always the ones justifying their lack of results. Money doesn't buy happiness, but it buys choices. And choices are what build happiness. It gives you freedom to live life on your terms, to protect the people you love, to escape the trap of survival that consumes most of humanity. The truth is, money speaks louder than truth itself. You can be right all your life, but if you're broke, the world won't listen. Learning to speak the language of money means understanding how it moves, where it flows, and why it favors certain people. The rich don't chase money, they attract it. They understand systems, leverage timing, and discipline. They treat money like energy. It must circulate, multiply, and return with interest. But the average man spends what he earns, wastes what he has, and complains when it's gone. He doesn't realize that every dollar he wastes today is a soldier lost in the war for his future freedom. Money is not evil. It simply amplifies who you already are. If you're lazy, it exposes you. If you're driven, it empowers you. That's why the poor stay poor. Not because they lack opportunity, but because they lack the mindset to understand that money is not something you chase. It's something you master. The world respects those who control resources. Power gravitates to control. You can have the biggest heart, the purest soul, the kindest intentions. But if you don't have the means to act on them, you remain powerless. You can't feed the hungry with good morals. You can't shelter the weak with compassion alone. Money turns your intentions into reality. It's the bridge between dreams and results. So stop hating it. Stop demonizing those who have it. Stop pretending that being broke makes you virtuous. It doesn't. Poverty teaches you lessons, yes, but it should never be a lifestyle. Learn the game. Study it. Respect it. Play it better than anyone else. Every dollar you earn represents discipline. Every investment represents foresight. Every time you choose growth over pleasure, you're learning the dialect of the powerful. Because power doesn't bow to wishes, it bends to strategy. You need to understand leverage, using one move to create 10 results. You need to master patience. The art of waiting while others panic. You need to learn control, the ability to hold when others rush. The people who build empires are not the ones who make the most money. They're the ones who understand how money behaves. They move like chess players while the rest play checkers. Money doesn't stay with the emotional. It abandons those who can't control their impulses. That's why discipline is the foundation of wealth. You can't earn big and think small. You can't expect abundance while operating with a scarcity mindset. When you start viewing money as a tool, not a treasure, everything changes. Tools are used to build, not to boast. The goal is not to worship money, but to use it as a weapon against fear and limitation. The goal is not greed, it's independence. Independence from a world that dictates how you should live, what you can afford, and how much your dreams should cost. Success and money demand clarity. You have to know what you want, why you want it, and what you're willing to give up for it. There's always a price, and the weak avoid paying it. That's why they stay where they are, surviving instead of living. To speak the language of money, you must think in long terms. You must delay gratification, reject comfort, and stay focused when everyone else seeks distraction. The world is noisy, full of people chasing quick wins and fast fame. But money listens to silence. It grows in patience, in strategy, in relentless consistency. The first step is to value your time. Time is the raw material of wealth. If you give it away for free, you'll never be rich. Every hour should build something: skills, connections, progress, or peace. When you waste time, you waste life. And life is the currency that buys everything else. You can lose money and make it back, but you can never buy back time. The rich protect their time like treasure because they understand it's the foundation of every empire. Money doesn't come to those who need it, it comes to those who deserve it. You don't get rich by wishing, you get rich by working smarter, harder, and longer than anyone else. You get rich by providing value, solving problems, and being irreplaceable. The world doesn't pay you for effort, it pays you for impact. So stop begging for money. Start becoming someone who earns it naturally through dominance and skill. Build yourself into a person so competent that the world has no choice but to reward you. And once you have money, learn to protect it. The poor spend to look rich. The rich invest to stay free. Every purchase is a decision, a statement about what you value. Don't trade your future for momentary comfort. Every dollar you save and multiply is another brick in the fortress of your freedom. Because make no mistake, the goal is not luxury, it's liberation. Money doesn't make you better, it reveals who you are. It's a mirror that reflects your mindset. If you're reckless, you'll lose it. If you're strategic, you'll grow it. So learn to speak the language fluently, not just through numbers, but through discipline, patience, and power. Understand that the game of money is really the game of control. Control over yourself, your impulses, your decisions, and your destiny. When you master that, money will come to you naturally, like gravity pulling towards strength. And when it does, you'll finally understand money was never the goal. Power was, freedom was. And that's a language worth mastering for life. Success demands sacrifice. Comfort is the enemy of greatness. Every dream worth chasing comes with a cost, and those who are not willing to pay it never rise beyond mediocrity. You can't live an easy life and expect extraordinary results. Comfort is seductive. It whispers lies into your ear, telling you that you deserve to rest before you've earned anything, that you should take it easy, that there's always tomorrow. But tomorrow belongs to the disciplined, the obsessed, the ones who sacrifice their sleep, their comfort, their distractions for something bigger. Success is not built in comfort, it's born in discomfort, in the lonely nights, in the moments when quitting feels easier than continuing. The truth is simple but brutal. The world rewards the ones who give more than they take. If you want something exceptional, you have to do what ordinary people won't. Every minute you waste chasing pleasure, someone else is grinding, building, improving. They are paying the price that you are avoiding, and when success finally arrives, they'll collect what could have been yours. The universe doesn't owe you anything. It gives according to effort, not intention. You can pray, wish, or hope all you want, but if you're not willing to sacrifice the comfort of today for the greatness of tomorrow, you'll stay where you are forever. Sacrifice is not punishment, it's the path to power. The reason most people fail isn't lack of talent or opportunity, it's the refusal to endure temporary pain. You have to understand that every breakthrough requires breaking something, your habits, your fears, your old identity. You can't stay the same person and expect a different life. Every successful person has walked through fire. They've been mocked, doubted, rejected, and betrayed, but they kept moving because they understood the law of sacrifice. They gave up parties to study. They gave up comfort to train. They gave up approval to chase purpose. And that's the price of greatness. Trading short-term comfort for long-term dominance. Comfort is where dreams die. It's where ambition goes to sleep. When you get too comfortable, you stop growing. You stop pushing. You start accepting average as normal. And once that happens, you've already lost. Comfort convinces you that you're safe when in reality, you're stuck. It makes you blind to the fact that while you're resting, someone hungrier than you is preparing to take your spot. Every empire you admire was built on the bones of sacrifice. Every legend you respect lived years in silence before the world ever heard their name. They understood that pain is temporary, but regret lasts forever. You have to make peace with being uncomfortable. You have to love the grind, the hunger, the uncertainty, because those who can thrive in chaos are the ones who eventually control it. Sacrifice teaches you resilience. It hardens your mind, sharpens your focus, and builds your willpower into a weapon. The road to success will break you before it builds you. That's the test. It's not supposed to be easy. If it were, everyone would do it. You're supposed to feel lonely, tired, and misunderstood. You're supposed to feel like giving up. But it's in those exact moments that champions are created. When you keep going, not because it's easy, but because you said you would. People love to say they want success, but few are willing to live the life it demands. They want the results without the sacrifice, the glory without the grind, the respect without the struggle. But success doesn't work that way. You don't get to skip the suffering. You have to earn your place through pain, patience, and persistence. You have to build discipline when no one's watching, stay consistent when no one believes, and keep pushing when everything inside you screams to stop. That's the kind of sacrifice that greatness demands, not once, but every single day. The world is full of talented people who never made it, not because they lacked ability, but because they couldn't let go of comfort. They wanted to be great, but they also wanted to relax. Party, sleep in, and stay in their safe zone. You can't have both. Comfort and greatness cannot coexist. You either choose growth or you choose ease. You can't walk two paths at once. Sacrifice is what separates the dreamers from the doers. It's what turns ambition into achievement. When you decide to sacrifice, life will test you. You'll lose people. You'll face criticism. You'll doubt yourself. But every loss, every struggle, every moment of isolation will carve you into someone stronger. You'll start to realize that the pain was never meant to destroy you, it was meant to discipline you. The more you sacrifice, the more focused you become. The distractions fade, the excuses die, the vision becomes clear. And once you taste progress, once you see what's possible, comfort becomes disgusting to you. You'll start craving growth the way others crave rest. Success demands not just physical effort, but mental warfare. You must kill the part of you that seeks ease. You must silence the voice that says, "You've done enough." You haven't. The truth is, you'll never feel ready, never feel comfortable. And that's how you know you're on the right path. Every second you spend outside your comfort zone is a second invested in your future. Every moment of discomfort is proof that you're evolving. The greatest pain you'll ever feel isn't from failure. It's from knowing you could have done more but chose not to. That's what comfort does. It gives you peace today and regret tomorrow. Sacrifice does the opposite. It gives you pain today but pride forever. Every sacrifice compounds. The hours, the sleepless nights, the missed moments, they all add up to something powerful. You're not losing time. You're building your legacy. So embrace the discomfort. Let it shape you. Let it remind you that you're alive, that you're chasing something meaningful. Success was never meant to be convenient. It was meant to test your limits, to see how much you truly want it. Because when you finally make it, when the world finally sees what you've built, they'll call you lucky. They'll see the reward, not the sacrifice. But you'll know the truth that every ounce of your greatness was paid for with years of pain, focus, and sacrifice. And in that moment, you'll realize the suffering was worth it. Because while everyone else chose comfort, you chose greatness. And that choice made all the difference. Discipline outlasts motivation. Emotions don't build empires. Motivation is temporary, fragile, and inconsistent. It comes when life feels exciting, when the mood is right, when everything seems possible. But when the fire fades, when the excitement disappears, and the pain starts to bite, motivation dies. Discipline is what keeps you moving when every part of you wants to stop. It's what separates those who dream from those who dominate. You can't rely on emotions to carry you through life because emotions are unreliable. They change with the weather, with your mood, with circumstances. But discipline, that's loyalty to your purpose. It's doing what you said you'd do long after the feeling that made you say it has disappeared. People chase motivation like addicts chasing a high, waiting for the right mood to take action. They watch videos, listen to speeches, read quotes, and think they're getting closer to success. But that's not progress. That's comfort disguised as inspiration. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. It demands action whether you're tired, uninspired, or broken. The disciplined person gets up when the world sleeps, works when no one's watching, and stays focused when everyone else gets distracted. Motivation may start the engine, but discipline keeps it running long after the fuel is gone. The truth is, emotions will always try to deceive you. They'll convince you to rest when you should rise, to quit when you should persist, to doubt when you should believe. Your emotions want comfort, your purpose wants conquest. Every great empire, every business, every legacy, every name that echoes through history was built by people who mastered themselves. They didn't wait for perfect conditions. They didn't depend on mood. They moved with purpose, not passion. Passion fades. Discipline endures. Discipline is the ultimate form of self-respect. It's proof that you can control your own impulses. Most people are slaves to how they feel. They eat when they're sad, quit when they're tired, speak when they're angry, and regret when it's too late. But the disciplined, they act with strategy, not emotion. They delay gratification. They play the long game because they understand that success doesn't come from random bursts of effort. It comes from consistency, from showing up every single day, even when it's boring, hard, and thankless. Motivation will get you through a day. Discipline will get you through a decade. That's the difference. You can be motivated to start a workout, but only discipline will keep you training when your muscles ache and your mind wants to give up. You can be motivated to start a business, but only discipline will keep you working when you've lost money, when no one believes in you, when nothing seems to move. You can be motivated to change your life, but only discipline will keep you fighting for it when failure slaps you in the face. That's why discipline is rare, because it requires control over your emotions. And most people can't win that battle. You'll never build an empire if you can't control yourself. The world doesn't bend to feelings, it bows to results. You might feel tired, but results don't care. You might feel uninspired, but progress doesn't wait. You might feel fear, but opportunity doesn't pause for your comfort. Discipline means doing what must be done, not what feels good. It means you become the kind of person who doesn't need motivation because you move with purpose, not pleasure. You've built habits so strong that even on your worst day, you perform better than most on their best. Emotional people waste energy reacting. Disciplined people use energy building. Emotions make you chase instant gratification. Discipline makes you chase legacy. When you live by emotion, you start and stop 1,000 times. When you live by discipline, you start once and never stop. You become unstoppable not because you always feel strong, but because you move forward even when you feel weak. Discipline is not punishment, it's power. It's training your mind to obey your goals instead of your feelings. It's refusing to let weakness win. The gym, the study room, the office, the grind. These are battlefields where discipline is forged. Every time you push through resistance, you strengthen your will. Every time you do the hard thing when no one's watching, you earn quiet respect for yourself. Discipline builds character, it builds confidence, because you start to realize that you can rely on yourself. And that's the greatest power a person can have. You'll notice that the most successful people in the world don't always look motivated. They look calm, focused, controlled, because they operate from structure, not emotion. They have routines, systems, habits. They've built an identity around consistency. That's why when others burn out, they rise. Discipline doesn't care about feelings. It creates results regardless of them. It's what keeps you moving when inspiration is gone, when the lights are off, when no one is clapping. If you want to build an empire, a business, a legacy, a name that matters, understand that emotions will betray you, but discipline will protect you. Feelings come and go, but habits stay. You don't need to feel ready to take action. You need to act to feel ready. The moment you stop negotiating with your emotions and start executing your plans, you'll separate yourself from 99% of the world. Because most people wait until they feel like doing something, and that moment never comes. Winners act first, feelings follow later. The key is to build a routine so strong that it becomes your identity. Wake up early not because you want to, but because that's who you are. Work hard not because you feel inspired, but because that's what disciplined people do. Over time, this repetition transforms you. It rewires your mind. You no longer depend on bursts of motivation. You've built momentum. And momentum is far more powerful. It's discipline in motion. Discipline will cost you. It will cost you comfort, laziness, distraction, and temporary pleasure. But what you gain is priceless control, clarity, power, and respect. Every time you choose discipline over emotion, you step closer to mastery. The greatest leaders, warriors, and builders in history understood this truth. Emotions can inspire you, but discipline defines you. So the next time you feel tired, unmotivated, or lost, remember, you don't need to feel good to move forward. You just need to move. Do it angry. Do it tired. Do it scared. Do it heartbroken. But do it anyway, because one day when you look back, you'll realize it wasn't motivation that built your empire. It was discipline, cold, quiet, relentless discipline that turned your struggle into strength and your dreams into reality. You must dominate your mind before you dominate the world. Every battle you will ever fight begins and ends within you. The mind is your greatest weapon and your most dangerous enemy. If you can't control your thoughts, your fears, and your impulses, then the world will control them for you. The truth is, most people are not defeated by life. They're defeated by their own minds. They drown in overthinking, fear, doubt, and hesitation long before reality ever touches them. You can't build an empire with a weak mind. You can't lead, you can't create, you can't rise if your mind collapses under pressure. The world respects strength, but that strength doesn't begin in your muscles or your money. It begins in your mentality. Your mind creates your reality. Every limitation, every possibility, every victory starts in thought form before it becomes real. If your thoughts are small, your life will be small. If your thoughts are chaotic, your life will be chaotic. But if your mind is disciplined, calm, and unshakable, then no chaos outside can touch you. That's why mental dominance is the foundation of every kind of success. Before you conquer markets, stages, or people, you must conquer yourself. Because the moment your mind bends to fear, the world will bend you further until you break. To dominate your mind means to command it, not to let it wander like a wild animal, not to let it be controlled by emotion, but to direct it with precision. Most people let their minds enslave them. They wake up worrying, they overanalyze, they imagine problems that don't exist. Their minds create prisons, and they live their whole lives inside them. But the masters, the ones who build, lead, and inspire, they've trained their minds like soldiers. They choose their thoughts, their focus, their response. They understand that the mind will believe whatever story you tell it. So they tell it a story of strength, power, and control. Every day is a mental war. You wake up with the temptation to be lazy, to scroll, to complain, to do nothing. You fight distraction, procrastination, and fear every hour. If you lose that battle in your head, you'll lose in every other part of life. That's why mental toughness is more valuable than talent. Talent fades when stress hits, but a strong mind remains unshaken. It doesn't panic. It doesn't quit. It doesn't seek comfort. It adapts and overcomes. That's what separates leaders from followers, winners from watchers. The mind is a muscle, and like every muscle, it grows through resistance. Every hardship, every failure, every setback is training. The pain you feel when things go wrong is the weight that strengthens your mental resilience. Most people run from that pain, but the strong ones embrace it because they know it's shaping them into something greater. You can't become mentally unbreakable by avoiding difficulty. You must face discomfort, sit in silence, endure rejection, and fight through fear until you realize that nothing can truly destroy you unless you allow it. Self-control is the highest form of power. If you can control your reactions, your desires, and your emotions, then no one can manipulate you. People lose control because they react to insults, to stress, to failure. But reacting is weakness, responding is mastery. The mind that can stay calm under pressure holds the key to any situation. When you can stay still while others panic, when you can think clearly while others rage, you become untouchable. That's dominance, not over others, but over yourself. The world is filled with distractions designed to keep your mind weak. Endless entertainment, cheap pleasures, constant noise. These things steal your focus and kill your drive. To dominate your mind, you must protect it like a fortress. Guard your attention. Be selective with what you consume. The things you watch, listen to, and think about shape your mental state. If you feed your mind with negativity, you'll live in fear. If you feed it with strength and focus, you'll live in control. Domination of the mind also means mastering yourself. Talk. The words you speak to yourself become your belief system. Every time you say, I can't, you're programming your mind for failure. Every time you say, I will, you're building a command. The mind follows repetition, not emotion. If you keep feeding it power, it will respond with power. That's why affirmations, routines, and discipline matter. They're the daily armor that keeps your mind strong. No one achieves greatness without first winning the mental war. Athletes, leaders, entrepreneurs, warriors, they all live by mental rules. They visualize success before they see it. They prepare for pain before it comes. They turn fear into focus. The weak mind looks for escape. The strong mind looks for solutions. When you dominate your thoughts, the external world becomes easier to manage because everything begins internally. You stop reacting to circumstances and start creating them. The mind is like a kingdom. If you don't rule it, someone else will. Society, peers, media, failure. They will all try to rule your mind through fear and doubt. But when you decide to become the king of your own thoughts, everything changes. You become intentional. You stop seeking approval. You stop being emotionally driven. You move with certainty, not confusion. Because when your mind obeys your will, life obeys your command. But dominance doesn't come from comfort. It comes from discipline. Waking up early when you don't feel like it. Focusing when your mind wants distraction. Speaking strength when your heart feels weak. Each time you win one of those small battles, you're programming your mind to obey you. You're telling it, I'm in charge. And soon, the impossible starts feeling possible because your mind no longer sabotages you. It serves you. When you reach that level, you stop being controlled by fear of failure or judgment. You realize that most limitations exist only in thought. The moment you decide that nothing can stop you, the universe starts aligning to that belief. Because the mind, once mastered, becomes a magnet for victory. It attracts discipline, courage, and clarity. It turns chaos into order and pain into purpose. So before you try to conquer the world, conquer yourself. Before you demand success, demand control over your mind. The world will test you, people will doubt you, life will challenge you. But none of that matters if your mind stands firm. When you dominate your mind, you don't break under pressure, you sharpen. You don't retreat from pain, you rise through it. You don't seek motivation, you create it. That's the secret of all power, control of self. You can't lead others until you can lead your mind. You can't win the world until you win the war within. The moment your mind becomes disciplined, fearless, and focused, the world becomes yours. Because a man who controls his mind can control his destiny. The world rewards strength, never weakness. No one wants to hear your excuses, your pain, or your stories of struggle. The world only respects one language: results. You can cry, you can complain, you can beg for sympathy, but in the end, the world moves on without you. That's the harsh truth. Life isn't fair, and it's not supposed to be. It's designed to test you, to break the weak, and to elevate those who refuse to bow. Every moment you spend feeling sorry for yourself, someone stronger is taking the opportunity you could have had. The world doesn't slow down for your emotions, it speeds up. And if you can't keep up, you get left behind. Strength isn't just physical, it's mental, emotional, and spiritual. It's the ability to stand tall when everything in your life collapses. It's the power to keep moving forward when you have every reason to quit. Weakness hides behind excuses. Strength creates solutions. Weakness blames circumstances. Strength builds through them. The world doesn't reward pity. It rewards power. You can't demand respect. You have to earn it by showing that you're unshakable. The strong are not born that way. They're built in silence, in pain, in nights filled with doubt and fear. But they don't let that stop them. They use it as fuel. Look around. Every person who holds influence, wealth, and recognition has one thing in common: strength. Not perfection, not comfort, but resilience. They've been hated, doubted, attacked, and rejected, yet they stood firm. That's why they rise above. Because when the weak quit, the strong endure. When the weak cry for help, the strong figure it out. Life respects those who fight, not those who fold. Weakness may earn you sympathy, but sympathy doesn't build empires. It keeps you dependent, soft, and forgotten. You see, strength isn't about never feeling pain. It's about mastering it. Everyone bleeds, everyone suffers, but the strong learn to use pain as a weapon. They turn heartbreak into hunger, rejection into drive, and failure into focus. Weak people let pain define them, strong people let it refine them. The difference between them isn't what they experience, it's how they respond. The strong see adversity as a lesson. The weak see it as punishment. The world will always push you, test you, and try to break you. But if you can endure the pressure without losing your purpose, you'll rise where others fall. Weakness is easy. It's easy to complain, to quit, to surrender. But there's no reward in that. Strength demands discipline. It demands that you show up when you don't feel like it, that you stay calm when life is chaos, that you keep your head high when everything around you crumbles. The strong control their emotions, the weak let emotions control them. And that's why the world listens to the strong, because strength brings stability, and stability creates leadership. No one follows a broken mind. No one respects a heart that crumbles at the first sign of resistance. Strength inspires. Weakness repels. Every setback in your life is an opportunity to build strength. Every failure, every betrayal, every loss, these are weights designed to build your character. You don't grow in comfort, you grow in pain. The people who have everything you want went through things you can't imagine. They didn't cry their way to success. They didn't ask for pity. They took the hits, stood up, and moved forward. The world rewarded them not because they were lucky, but because they were relentless. Strength doesn't mean being emotionless. It means being in control of your emotions. It's being able to feel pain and still move with purpose. Weakness is expensive. It costs you respect, opportunity, and peace. It's the reason people walk over you, the reason your dreams die, the reason life feels unfair. The world doesn't cater to weakness because weakness is unstable. When you're weak, you're unreliable. You break easily, you give up quickly, and you depend on others to carry you. But when you're strong, you become unshakable. You don't need validation. You don't need to be rescued. You move with certainty, and that's why the world bends to your will. The strong don't seek comfort. They seek control. They understand that comfort is a trap, a slow poison that kills ambition. The weak hide in comfort zones because they fear failure, but the strong know that failure is part of growth. Every time you face something difficult and choose not to run, you get stronger. And eventually, life stops testing you because you've proven you can handle anything. That's when the world starts rewarding you with success, respect, and freedom. But strength isn't just about surviving, it's about dominating. It's about turning every challenge into advantage, every obstacle into opportunity. The strong don't wait for perfect timing, they create it. They don't wait for motivation, they rely on discipline. They don't let emotions cloud their judgment. They think, they plan, they execute. That's why strength always wins. Because while weakness reacts, strength responds. Life is ruthless. It doesn't care about your tears or your past. It only responds to your power. You either control your world or get controlled by it. The moment you show weakness, the world takes advantage. That's why you must become mentally bulletproof, so no insult, no loss, no failure can shake you. The strongest people aren't the ones who never fall, they're the ones who rise every single time. They don't complain about the storm, they become the storm. So if you want to win in this world, stop seeking sympathy and start seeking strength. Stop blaming, stop doubting, stop waiting. Start building your mind, your body, your resilience. Start saying no to weakness, no to fear, no to comfort. The world doesn't need another soft soul. It needs warriors, builders, leaders. Because only the strong can protect, inspire, and lead others out of darkness. Remember this, strength isn't something you're born with. It's something you earn through discipline, pain, and persistence. Every day you choose strength over weakness, you rise above the crowd. The world may not clap for you, it may not thank you, but it will reward you in ways comfort never could. Because strength commands respect, and respect commands power. Weakness asks for permission, strength takes control. And when you finally embrace that truth, when you decide to stop being fragile and start being fierce, the world will open doors that weakness could never touch. Because in the end, the world rewards strength, and strength, once earned, never fades.